we've been building to episode 100 for a long time. Like, a long time. Indirectly, but more so directly, we've been spamming the shit out of you guys on social media. Yeah. I know you probably got tired of it, but you still listen because you love us. And
you loved episode 1.
And you loved the skip we did. You loved everything. You loved the Temptations calendar. The pre-orders are about to go out soon, so you gonna get your New Year's baby.
We only got 4 months, man. Y'all gonna get it.
On this day. Wait till y'all see what I got for Christmas.
You put him in a fat suit.
You gonna put a bow on it.
No, that's it. That's all I got. I want to make sure.
Are you wearing clothes?
Nah, just a bow.
Oh, damn.
Harry ass
Harry package.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for my gift. There's a lot of hair on it.
Y'all ain't gonna keep sitting and playing my body hair. Leave me alone.
Anyway, we worked, like, we put in so much work for episode 100. Like, we always put work into every episode we do. But we put a lot of effort into it, a lot of planning, and as you can see, we did a lot extra. And we did it. It was great. It was awesome. But then we're on episode 101. Like, it's not like a video game where you get to the last level, you beat it, and your credits roll.
They can hand yourself playing, baby.
And I'm not gonna
Game Plus.
I'm about to say we worked so hard.
And
yeah, like what's next? What's Red Dead Redemption 2 or Red Dead Redemption 3? And Darian, I think even on a way grander scale than episode 100, you planned the wedding for over a year, and all that went into it. And it was an amazing wedding. I told you and Alexis was the best experience I've ever had personally. But then you woke up the next day and life kept going. So like, what does that feel? What is that feeling? We have a word for that feeling.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's surreal. It's surreal because you spend a lot of time building up to like this big moment. And one thing, like as far as like the wedding, like me and Lex have been together for so long and like lived together for a few years now. So it wasn't like we already talked about goals. We already talked about things like that we planned for the future and past the wedding. And that's one thing that I always try to make a point of. Like even when I was being pressed, and fellas, y'all gonna get pressed for the engagement, like for the wedding, because a lot of women, they grow up like with the wedding in mind. Like that's kind of like what they're not raised to do, but like a lot of them are like from a young age, like that's instilled. Like, oh, like the wedding has to be this, the wedding has to be that. You have to be the wife, you have to be whatever. Whereas men, like we're not necessarily taught how to be husbands, but we're taught how to be like providers. We're taught how to be manly. Like we're not thinking about weddings, but I mean, to a father to a certain extent, but like not necessarily a husband. And so like with that in mind, like they build up for that entire moment. And so I always make it a point, like let's think beyond the wedding. Like what are we thinking about, like morals? What are we thinking about, like how we're gonna handle arguments? What are we thinking about, all those types of stuff? Let's think past the wedding. And that's one thing me and Lex were fortunate enough to like talk through before the actual wedding, how to get through those things. And so like after the wedding, it was more so like business as usual. I mean, it did feel like, obviously you're spending a lot of time planning for this event. You're like, that's like half your day. You know what I'm saying? Like you're literally thinking about that, like the cost of vendors. You're thinking about finding the right tux. Like with me, like at the last minute, I had to search for a tux. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like it's a stressful time. And so like when you finally go through the day and like you find that one day is over with, you're kind of like, all right, what's the next big thing? Like what are we getting into next? But I will advise people like in that space, like to have those conversations before that big day, like just to think past, like have a long-term plan. Like it's good to have your short-term goals, but for a lot of people, when you like have these goals and you achieve those goals, a lot of times that can be a kind of a not, I don't know, depressing might be a strong word for it, but it can be a space where you're in your head, you're anxiety about like, oh my gosh, I achieved this, now I don't know what to do. Like I worked so hard, like almost like a tunnel vision to an extent. Like we worked so hard with the wedding, that's all we were thinking about. And a lot of couples go through this, like you build up so much to get to this day, this one day, and then once that day passes, you're like, oh, it's just me and you. Oh, like there's no like, we don't have nothing to do with coordinates. All we doing now is like focus on loving each other and building each other up. And that's the real challenge. And that's what a lot of people like. I don't want to say it's easy or stressful to plan a wedding, to plan an event, to plan these big milestones. But like once you reach it and once you get past it, it's harder to maintain that relationship, harder to like really just continue to get back to the core of what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Like for the podcast, we reach 100. Like we weren't doing this to reach 100 episodes. We were doing this to as an outlet. We were doing this not necessarily for fun, but just something that we were already doing anyway. Like we were having these conversations, we were talking, and so we put mics to it. So that's what we set out to do, to have fun, to release, to let out, to treat this as an outlet. So we're continuing to do that. But if we made this just about, oh, we got to get to 100 episodes, we reached 101, we're like, oh shit, like this like, what do? We're all confused, we're scrambling, we're nervous, because now like it's unseen territory. We had this goal like in mind, and then when we pass it, it's like, oh, what we do. So I mean, I think it's important like before then to just really just think, to keep your long-term goals in mind, and even with those, just keep constantly reevaluate where those goals are, like, because again, you're gonna achieve those long-term goals at some point. We never, like, looking back at our fucking high school selves, like, we didn't think, like, I didn't really picture marriage necessarily. I figured I'd be married by like 25, 26 or something. You have these predetermined like or whatever like dates or ages where you think you're going to achieve things, but like when you finally reach those, like, it's important to constantly reevaluate. All right, let's build on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, which is easier said than done, but it's important to build off that.
No, that was great. A lot of gems there.
Yeah, I talked a lot about that.
That was great. We're great for the TikTok. You know, that was awesome.
Speaking facts.
But I listen to a lot of podcasts like where old wrestlers just talk, and one of the things that almost every wrestler says, like, especially when you're working up to like a big wrestling match or a wrestling event, and you're just so excited for it, and you go, you have the match, and it's a great match. Then you walk to the back, everybody tells you, "Oh, great job," and then that's it. You know, you're done, and your energy is still like on 100, and it's like. Like, you're just like, okay, what now? You gotta, like, you're just on such a high level, and you have to, like, bring yourself down.
Yeah.
And then you wake up the next day and just do it again. You know what I mean? Or try to recreate that moment. So you're always trying to recreate that moment. And one thing I'm talking to with my therapist is not living life just for the big events.
Yeah.
Like it's like a video game. So, like, for instance, Darian's wedding was in June. We're going to Kurt's bachelor party in August, and then Kurt's wedding is in November, and it's not just that's coming up soon. And make sure we're also present and we're mindful of the in between times. Yes. The times where you're just at home watching Netflix with your girlfriend or your brother, or you're just going to the store, or you're going to see your parents, like enjoying even the little moments and not just the big moments. The big moments are super important. Go take pictures. Take videos, tell everybody, oh, you love them, all that. But the small moments are just as important. That's what I've been talking to my therapist about. Because I feel like the last couple of years, that's the reason why we say like life just goes by so fast. I feel like we're always looking forward to something. I've said to people before, like, one of the hardest things about the pandemic was I had nothing to look forward to. Like, I didn't have a football game to look forward to, I was going to be going to, or a baseball game to look forward to, or a wrestling event to go to. Like, there was nothing. But in life, we just do that. Like, oh, going on the trip. These next 3 weeks don't matter. I just want to get to that trip and enjoy that. No, these 3 weeks matter, right? Like, you might pick up a memory in these next 3 weeks. You're just sitting at home with your girlfriend, or, you know, sitting there with your dog or whatever, that you'll remember in 10, 15 years. So that's just something that I've been trying to be way more cognizant of, just living in the moment. Even us last night, just going out and having having dinner with you guys and going out afterwards, and like I said, we don't do elaborate things. We're not doing once in a lifetime. We're not partying with Drake or nothing like that yet. Like yet, someday. But just enjoy those little moments, right? Yeah. And when the big moments come, we're gonna go crazy. We're gonna do a lot for those, but enjoy the in between times. I like that.
No, I agree, man. I think kind of like what people say is like be present. You know what I mean? Like, be present in the moment. Because then you'll miss, like, you know what I'm saying, like the little things in life, man, the little spice of life. You know what I'm saying, the little minute details of being alive. You know what I mean? I think sometimes, like, you know, it's kind of morbid, but whenever I hear somebody, like, you know what I'm saying, like in the news passing away in their sleep, that is something that always resonates with me, because, like, you take, like, waking up for granted. That's just like, you know what I'm saying, you take something like that just for granted, like, to be able to wake up. When you go to sleep, you're just like, that's just, you know, either sometimes for some people a place of peace, a place to recharge, But then not waking up from that is like, whoa, hold on, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's unfathomable. So, you know, just being in the moment to be blessed and to, you know what I'm saying, thank the Creator to be able to just wake up and have the, you know, the opportunity to have a good day.
Yeah.
And then when we talk about mindset, you know what I mean, and when we talk about being present, it's about intentionally having a good day. Like being intentional is very important when you want to be present. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you know what I'm saying, when we talk about goals and all that type of stuff, in between, want to, you know what I'm saying, kind of have a, you know, go in with an outlook of, you know, I'm going to have a bad day because something happened. It's like if you go in the mindset of like, I'm going to have a good day on the journey towards my goals or the journey towards my short-term or long-term goals, you know, it's important. And I think to you guys' point, like, if you're going to, using Aaron as an example, like, bachelor party, you know what I'm saying, is something that's like, you know, I guess considered like a long-term goal for the month. You can have something short-term in the meantime. It's like, hey, you know, it could be like, hey, I want to save X, Y, Z money, or I want to, you know what I'm saying, not go to Starbucks every week because that is, you know what I'm saying, something that I want to budget for. Like having something fun as a as a little component in your life, it would be something that definitely give you more greater joy, I guess, than rather than just punching in and punching out at a job or just going through the motions at work.
Yeah, like I always look at it as like the episode of SpongeBob and Squidward's just doing like whatever he's doing in life. He's just kind of going through it. It's just like a montage of everything. And you know, it's just like you
start off happy.
We work stressful jobs and like
it gets like that.
Most of your day is working and working sucks. So I can see like it just, oh my gosh, I want to get through this.
They can get that like that in all aspects, relationship, all that.
Yeah. You can't go through the motions of life. And I'm not saying, first of all, I'm not trying to talk on a high horse. Any of us are talking on a high horse, you know what I'm saying? But it's, at some point, you got to have like a moment in your day where you kind of snap out of it and be like, hey, what have I accomplished today? You know what I'm saying? Or what do I want to accomplish? And I'm not saying that you need to put the pressure on yourself that every day needs to be some grand, you know what I'm saying? I cured cancer today, or I did, you know what I'm saying? Small things that are small victories to yourself. That, you know what I'm saying, hey, I spoke to a new person today. I said I want to work on my networking skills. I talked to someone else in a different department today, and I learned a little bit. I learned 3 facts about my boss today, which is, and you know what I'm saying, which is in the long term going to help me hopefully maybe in a promotion, because then I've developed a relationship with this gentleman or female, young lady, you know what I mean? And again, that is a short-term goal that leads to a long-term goal.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Like, I agree with everything that y'all have been saying. This is one of those things where you like, you think about what's next. Like, you know, going back to like what you said, like from the jump about like the marriage and that type of stuff. It's like, you know, the way that people are brought up and raised when they think about it, or like women, not to say they're born and raised that way, but like they think about that day. That's their day. That's the culmination of a life's work for them. Like, that's the dream. It's coming true for them. The real part is, all right, once this day is over, I gotta live with you, I gotta love you, we gotta deal with each other and all that other type of stuff. Like, this is us now, baby. Like, you know, you got that day. Like, it's real life now. Thank you.
Amazing show, bro.
Double lunch lot advice.
I'm talking about love. This is great.
This made me crying every Thursday.
I don't feel like crying there.
What? Dude, you got
You said that show was some shit?
I said I'm not interested.
I heard it was emotional. Like, it'd be like,
I just don't feel like being sad.
It's just about fatherhood and parents.
Like, it's good. So respect the game.
So good, man.
Alright, shout out to this. Y'all got a random fifth toe, excuse me. Yeah, but it's just one of those things you be thinking about that and be like, you know, people be like thinking about stuff like one day rather than thinking about the long term all day. And that's definitely one of those things that people end up having to learn usually, like marriage counsel, stuff like that, where it be like, all right, cool, we gonna do this day. Nah, we gonna do life. Like, you're coming together for a life event, and that's one of those things. And even when you get beyond that, it's like you're saying in terms of just like learning about like enjoying the day and not just like going through events and that type of stuff. Like, you just end up looking to every life event and like every party, every like, oh, okay, well, this day we're doing this day we're doing that. And it's like you said, like all the little things in life. Make sure I'm clarifying. I learned something from everybody just then. And it's just like, like you have to enjoy all these little things. You have to enjoy the little times in life. And oftentimes it's one of the hardest things because we don't always find joy in the little things. We end up looking towards so many of these big things and we end up just overlooking small things that are going on in our lives. Or just feel like they're insignificant and like they're not. Like, we just kind of gotta like end up being happy within those little things where it's just like, yo, I ain't do shit today. But it don't have to be the worst thing in the world. Like, fine. Like,
bro, you just need to rest, bro.
Like, look on the bright. I rested today.
Yeah, like every day ain't gonna be, bro. Every day ain't gonna be an adventure. It's an adventure within its own right, but every day ain't gonna be like, you know, like, oh man, I was on U Street last night. It was crazy. Every day ain't gonna be that. Like that, just like, you know, like that's fine. Like everybody don't live the same life, and even people that say they have a lot of those days, like, bro, like okay, they have them within range. Like even they have, everybody has a boring day. Biggest thing is learning how to accept those boring days and just like you say in terms of what happens next. It's just like, yo, just be okay with everything going on with you. Just kind of like accept these things and like be okay and just be like, oh, okay, hey, what happens next may not be as exciting as what happened today and all this other stuff that went on within this grand.
Add them all together.
Yeah, it all adds up together into one big thing that we call life. At the end of the day, like, bruh, we're putting this all together. It's not just based on this one day. Like with some people, we just get caught up on like, it's like the biggest things like we keep saying earlier. We get caught up on these major events in life, and we get caught up on those things. But there's so much more that goes into it. It's like, bruh, episode 100 wouldn't feel so sweet if it wasn't for the other 99. Like it all adds up into like one big thing.
That's real.
Yeah, it's all about the journey. It's all about what we're doing. And like you said, like when I talk to my own therapist about stuff like that, it's just kind of enjoying life, like being in the moment, not taking stuff for granted. Like appreciate where you are.
Yeah.
And that has to be something that we just continue to do. Like, bro, you wouldn't have 101 episodes of The Hentations if we didn't just appreciate what we were doing. Like, I mean, we just appreciate where we were, just like be like, oh, hey, I like hanging out with Aaron, Malik, and Darian. Like, this is fun. This is what I like. Like, we appreciate that type of stuff. Yeah, that's one of the bigger things. Like in life, you gotta appreciate where you are and just find joy in like the smaller things.
I like that. Especially that, like, finding happiness in the little things, because like it got to a point with me, like I didn't even like celebrating my achievements or my milestones, because for one, even though like you build up to those moments and you set those bars for yourself, when you reach them and you're so excited that you reached them, you passed it, you reached that goal. Everybody else, they might like I think Aaron was saying this earlier, they're like, oh, good job, like, oh, cool. Like, oh, great for that one day. And then the next day, you so hyped. You thinking back to, like, the hours you put into this, the years you put into this. Like, you, like, shedding tears off it, but everybody else is like, oh, cool. And actually, probably the next day, they're talking about, oh, like, probably asking you to do something for them, or, like, asking what's next, or asking, like, not even thinking about the goal that you just reached that you worked so hard for. So it was getting to a certain point where I was like, I don't really care to celebrate milestones. I don't really care to celebrate, like, I'm not the biggest birthday guy. Like, I'm not really, like, into, like, doing all that stuff. But, like, you do have to find that happiness in yourself. You do got to celebrate those little moments, like how y'all saying, like, where you do, like, it might not be for a goal, like, but even when you pass that goal, I'm happy with my life right now. I'm content with, like, how my life is going. Like, yeah, like I was saying earlier, you do got to reevaluate and set new goals. Like, it is important to keep that going, because we're not, especially in the U.S., like, it's hard for us to be, like, satisfied and stagnant, because we're in a place where we are constantly seeing higher than where we are. So it's like it's hard for us to just be content where we are. And I don't think I think we should continue to push that bar, like, 'cause that's a part of growth. But at the same time, I think it's important for us to. And one thing I'm learning is, like, just celebrating, like, life, finding that contentment, like being happy with what you have. And I think you can be happy with what you have and at the same time push for more.
Or whatever you want to call it, just being present in all moments of life.
Yeah.
And not always be, it's always good to be looking to the next, but just be present in everything. Like, being present, like, not physically being present, like, I'm here right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we've recorded this podcast at points where I'm physically here, but I'm not completely, like, engaged, like, where I need to be. Like, be engaged. Like, another thing my therapist told me, he was like, he asked me, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, we're going to a steakhouse, so I'm going to dinner. He was like, enjoy your steak. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, thank you. He was like, no, literally enjoy your steak. When you're eating your steak, enjoy it.
Every time you cut that bitch.
Yeah, I mean, like, no, he was being serious. He was like, enjoy the taste, like, enjoy every bite, like, enjoy, be present.
Are they giving you truffle butter?
Like, me and Brett, when you go out with your friends, like last night, enjoy, like, the music, hear the music, hear the atmosphere, hear the
present.
annoying drunk people yelling and screaming. Embrace all that moment, like live in the moment. Because one thing I personally struggle with is always just like worrying about future events or worrying about the past, like worrying about what can happen in the future, good or bad. And then if you're doing that, you lose days, weeks, months, waiting for this one event. And then that event happens, and like we said, you have it, whether it's good or bad, and you have that high, you get praised, you get criticized, and then the next day it's a new day, sun's up, right? So you lost.
Care about
so you had that one day, but you also lost all that other time in anticipation for that day. Right. So, and you turn around and look at this. Oh, it's almost 2023, right? And what did you been doing 2022? Were you just looking? Oh, I can't wait till summer. Oh, that's half the year. Like, half the year's gone, right? Like, oh, fuck winter, whatever. Like one of the things, like, I'm trying to wake up earlier in the day. Like, and like to me, like 8 o'clock is like super early, and then like, and my therapist's like, dude, well, the sun comes up at 6, man. So I mean, like, that's 2 hours of your day. Not saying you have to get up at 6, but just saying for context, that's 2 hours of your day. Like, you're not using or you're not living in the moment and embracing. But
bro, nah, even like the whole question that we're like basing the premise of this episode on, like, I'm reticent to acknowledge sometimes, like, what's next? What's next is like a hard question because like it feels like I don't enjoy what's now. Like we're talking about what's next, and yes, and clearly in certain situations you can't just focus on today. Like I was saying, like when you start at the wedding, it's like you can't focus on the ceremony. You got to focus on what's next. But yeah, like bro, we're so focused sometimes on what's next that we're not enjoying what's now. Like we're just literally leaving it. We're not paying attention to it. Like we're taking now for granted. Like we're just not in the moment. We're not doing. Not like what we should do. I don't want to say it like in a judgmental way, but it's like, bro, like there's so much going on right now. Like we keep thinking of what's next. It's like, bro, what are you doing right now? Like just enjoy where you are. Like we sit around sometimes. We start getting, oh dang, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Like I know for me, it's hard for me to, like you were saying earlier, I can't even celebrate my own accomplishments. Like it's hard as hell to just feel like, oh man, I got a promotion. Oh man, I got a raise. Like little good things for yourself because we just automatically in our minds we skip to. All right, I need to focus on this. You start focusing on numbers and other things. Like, you keep pushing we all push, like, the end zone back. We keep adding to it. We're not, like, getting to a point where we're happy and it's just like, bro, like, nah, enjoy this shit, bro. Be happy. Like, something good happened in your life. Like, celebrate it. Enjoy it. That's why it's like I'm learning to this day. I'm learning more so, like, now, like, I used to kind of more so be like, if I see people celebrating, I'm like, this is stupid as hell. Why the hell are you wasting your time celebrating this? And it's like, everybody don't celebrate the same way, and everybody finds different things important. But the person that I am today, I try to give people far more the benefit of the doubt than I used to. And be like, look, man, celebrate every little event that you can, and celebrate it, do it up, and enjoy it. Like, yeah, I'm a low-key person, but, bruh, if you want to celebrate that shit and scream from the top of the mountain and do whatever the hell you feel the need to do, get a bottle of Moet, do it. Enjoy your life. And I feel like that's like one of the biggest things. Like, it sucks because it's just so hard. And it be like, we keep thinking, oh, what's next? Nah, like, what's next is very important. I agree with that. It's just like, bro, what's now? What are you doing right at this moment? Enjoy that. Enjoy the people you're with. Enjoy the thing you just did. Don't even think about the next accomplishment. Because that'd be the thing that, like, bring you down. Like, even, like, if you bring it to a professional perspective, you're never going to be more happy with your contract than the day you sign it. After the day you sign it, you are immediately thinking about, I do more than this. I deserve more than this money. This ain't enough for me. So enjoy that. Enjoy when you get that money. Enjoy when you do that thing. Enjoy the occasion. Like, yeah, what's next is always going to be important. And it's like, I'm not trying to be anti to the topic. Absolutely, you should think of what's next. But, bruh, what's next can't be enjoyed without, like, thinking about what's now. Like, you have to enjoy what's now as well in order to even feel like, what's next is doable. Enjoy what's now, bro. Otherwise, you're just in an endless cycle of trying to, like, chase the fucking carrot or whatever, like, they dangle in front of animals. It's like, bro, enjoy what's now, man. Like, we've all done some great things. Take your time, enjoy what's now, and celebrate yourself. And that's something that we all just need to do.
Yeah. Only time we're gonna, if our lives are movies, there's only one way the credits are gonna roll on our movies.
It's when you die.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, in the meantime, like,
I'm sorry.
You get a vote.
So you dog.
He's like, yeah, that's what I mean.
My bad.
So like, and like enjoy, like this, and doing the podcast, like I'm enjoying us doing the podcast because there's gonna be a day. Who knows what the reason is? It's gonna be a myriad of reasons why that we're not gonna be able to do a podcast. There's going to be a day when we fuck the podcast. We're not gonna be able to hang out for one reason or another. That's life, right? Like that's the one thing in life that we're 100% sure of. Like that, there's no way around that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like enjoy. What is today? Well, I guess it's the 24th now. Whatever. 5 years from now, I don't think we're gonna remember that on 7/24 we were recording that episode. We're gonna know we did it in this general time, but I'm still gonna enjoy this moment, right? You know, this is an important day to me. Even if I don't even remember it 3 years from now, I'm enjoying this in the moment. So
yeah, and it's like you said, it's only gonna get harder. We're gonna have kids. We're gonna some of us might move. We might have a job opportunity. Like you just never know. Like we're extremely, and I think that helped our friendship. Like none of us really had like jobs that demanded us being in Cali or like being split up or like New York or whatever. But like it's only going to get harder, and so I think it is important that we get a lot more intentional and kind of grab life by the reins, so to speak, and like celebrate those moments. And I think one thing that helps is like if we help celebrate each other's moments as well. Like if we encourage each other, like, oh, like man, you had this big milestone, and like yeah, it might be for a day, but like when you have those moments when you reach a big milestone, and everybody's just like, okay, cool, like, and that's it, and it's like not really like just having people who's like genuinely happy for that moment that milestone that you just achieved, like it's like the battery in some people's backs. Like, oh, I gotta keep like that feeling is unmatched to be honest. Like when somebody's like genuinely happy for you and like, damn man, like you really did it. Like more excited than you are in some situations. Like that is literally the battery in my back sometimes to get that type of stuff. And I'm sure this is the same for a lot of people. So I think it's important not only to celebrate our own achievements in little moments, but celebrate our friends' achievements, family achievements. Like really like help motivate them to keep doing this, to keep chasing that feeling. That like it's not nothing wrong. There's a lot of highs that are wrong out here. That is a high that's one high that I think like is not a bad one to chase. Like really.
Bro, nah, what you're saying makes total sense because it's like, bro, this makes you want to figure out what's next. Yeah. When somebody like tells you some good things and like you like, yo, like, I'm happy good. You did that. Like, yo, I'm proud of you. I saw you grinding. I saw you doing that. I saw you doing the test to get your master's or whatever it may be. Like, bro, that makes you want to do something else. It makes you want to keep improving on your life. Yeah. Like when people like, yo, I saw your journey with your whoever you with. You know, like that was dope. I witnessed that. It makes you want to do more and try to figure out what's next. So yeah, definitely. Even like you said, it's one day, bro. Take one day to celebrate you. Like, bro, celebrate yourself so that you're able, like I said earlier, celebrate yourself so that you're able to figure out what you want next. Yeah. Like, bro, enjoy it. Enjoy the moments. Their moments in life are few and fleeting.
Enjoy even like what we consider as boring moments. The last thing I'm gonna say, like, just be present in those moments. Yeah. Like sitting on the couch with your dog watching TV, but like my dog got sick a couple months ago. I didn't know if my dog, like I said, I didn't know what was gonna happen to my dog that night. Like I got nervous, and you think back to just a random Sunday we were watching football, or like we got my dog during the Capitals Stanley Cup run, and every game the Caps won, I can remember vividly like where my dog was. Like they won Game 5 of the opening round against Columbus in overtime. Me and my dog sat there and watched it, and I jumped up when Nicholas Backstrom scored a game-winning goal. My dog jumped up, and she had no idea what was going on, just jumping on me like just little moments like that. Like that's a boring moment, but like
they closed it out, and she ended up on top of the cabinets, and he don't know how she ended up there, but he enjoyed it.
Shit she wasn't supposed to eat.
Get down, girl.
Get off the cabinets! How the hell are you up there?
So even the boring moments, just be present. Be present in life. That's the last thing.
Celebrate life.
Hey, I think we should name this episode More Life.
Bro, more life, bro. Enjoy life. Bro, continue to...
Or The Pursuit of Happiness. I got 2 options for you.
I think we've used that second one, but let's do
more life, bro. Bro, just enjoy where you are. Enjoy where you are. Be present, like you keep saying. Make the best out of every situation, and just like, man, that makes you want to figure out what's next. If you're able to just be happy with where you are, you don't mind thinking of what's next. if you're not, it becomes a chore, and it, like I said, it becomes that thing that's constantly in front of you that you're never gonna attain. And I mean, yeah, you want to stay hungry, you want to stay active, but there's nothing wrong with celebrating. Like, bro, be happy. We've all accomplished some great things. Like,
Hell yeah.
Enjoy, be happy, and then figure out what's next.
I gotta exercise now. I'll just say my last piece that I think everybody should do is write down a list of your accomplishments, like in life. And I'm talking personal and professional. You'd be surprised to see how much you've accomplished in such a short amount of time. I think sometimes we look at life as, as years and, we're about to be 30 and, oh my gosh, we're supposed to be this, we're supposed to be that. I mean, Darian mentioned, like, we all thought we were going to be a 2-car garage, Ferrari in front, 25, making 6 figures, blah, blah, yada, yada. In between all that, all those goals and all those imaginative things that we've, wished on our life when we were kids, you probably have actually accomplished maybe a couple of those, surprisingly. Whether it be a salary, whether it be a car that you wanted, whether it be a house or a place to live, put a roof over your head, a job accomplishment, you'd be quite surprised in what you've accomplished within your life. And then, write that stuff down and also, put stuff on a calendar or put it on a vision board on what you want your life to be. And again, that's something that you can always go back and get that fix where you say, hey man, I was able to accomplish and get a raise by X, Y, Z. I was able to get a house. I was able to have a relationship. I was able to find the one that I wanted to get married with. And you know what I'm saying? Because again, like we talked about, life goes by fast, but sometimes it's our job to slow it down and realize that, there are things that happen in between, but you got to put, almost a time capsule together for your own life and with timestamps of, hey, I accomplished this, I've been able to do this, because sometimes a lot of things these small things we talk about get glossed over because we're looking forward to the bigger things. So write it down, man. Put it on pen and pad.
That's big. I actually might do that. The exercise. That's pretty good.
Wow. Okay, that was pretty profound. A lot of profound gems in this one.
Straight bars.
This one's gonna be hard.
Temptation
Said so many good things.
Temptation rappers for real.
Yeah,
straight
we're
bars.
just gonna cut the mic after.
What's another
mic
one?
drop? Mic drop.
Damn, that's smooth.